them when they can launch it, depending on their testing requirements and their launch windows. So our plan was to launch by 2015. So we tried making a Gantt chart using Microsoft projects. Plus we also tried making a Gantt chart on the Excel. But the problem has been that we were expecting, because the conceptual design review was to be done by ISRO, so we were expecting them to come in October, but they could not give the date by now. So we are now expecting them to come in March. So because of that, we are never sure of. We have a very good idea of how to make it, but how to set it and how to follow it with so many parameters from outside that are governing and that are not in our control, it's very difficult for us, and that has been the main concern in project management. Right? Apart from that, the general project managers in our team, what they do is they help us in administrative work and they help us in keeping the team together. The follow-up and the task distribution is done at the level of subsystem head, so that just not one project manager or two project manager has to worry about the whole team. Project manager is asked to take the follow-up from sub-heads occasionally, but it's generally the sub-heads who report to the team.
So in 10 months, individually, how much time you must have spent in terms of hours, man-hours?
This is a better question addressed by the team. I would like, because it depends on the individual interest.
But average?
On an average, 5 to 6 hours a day or 2 to 6 hours a day. 20 hours a week. 3 to 4 hours a day. 20 hours a week. Apart from examinations.
20 hours a week.
Because these guys have to learn from the basics, so it takes a lot of time. They start reading by space mission analysis design and then go up.
Mostly internet based.
Yes, sir?
Mostly
internet based, but we have a lot of resources in terms of research papers and conference papers. Plus we have also got the PDR and ODRs of some of the missions that have flown up. So we use that. But it's mostly been internet based research. So if you ask me, I've spent 10 months of my 10 months working on this project.
Good boy.
It's my dream. If something is your brainchild, then you are the one who has to work the most. So it's been my brainchild.
No one can do everything.
Yeah, that's why I've taught them to now.
Everyone can do something.
So that's what I've taught them. Actually, when we started the project, everybody was surprised by the fact that I was like a dictator. Everything went by me. Whatever I told them to read, they had to read. Whatever I instructed them, they had to do. And if you watch this team now, what it was 10 months back, and watch this team now, and those who are members will understand this, that now it's so democratic that everybody is almost free to take their decisions. They just need to confirm it from me, and they are free to take their decisions. And there are so many decisions that they take and they implement it for the good of the project that I don't need to be a dictator anymore. So from being a person who does everything in the project, I have become a person who watches everything in the project. I'm just a watchdog. And I do my work, which is related to the payload, and I guide the structure. And that was something that we wanted to achieve. Not a team led by the leader, but a team led by itself. So moreover, I would say that 90% of the project goal has been achieved. Was to inspire people.
Good.
So out of this 40, there are many people who want to inspire millions, but every human, by a very simple philosophy, every human's life is successful if he's able to inspire even one person to do something good. So my life is already successful because I know out of this 40, one person will come up. Okay, he'll meet me and say, I'll ask him, what did you do in life? And he'll say that, okay, I was inspired by your thought, then I went to work for ISRO, or I joined the International Space University, I'm in a contract with NASA right now, developing a mission to Mars, or I'm doing a project to Moon. And I know there will be one person who will come up. Out of these 40, at least one person will come up to me and tell me that. So I'm successful in this project. I'm successful in this project. That's it about Azad. Nothing more. Now it's time for you to address us. So we would like to throw in a small introduction. Because some of our first year members are not in our main group, so they did not get your seat. So I would like you to introduce yourself like never before. Again. So So let's have you now. I hand you the floor.
Over the introduction will be by asking questions. You can ask me anything. You can ask whatever you want. To know me, you can ask questions.
So what inspired you to take up space career?
It was by accident. I was in Hong Kong for a conference, and my roommate happened to be a space scientist from BSSC. So I was the youngest participant for that conference, and he was the oldest. Then we were together. Then he asked, "Why can't you join Department of Space?" My specialization was fluid mechanics, and he was working in aerodynamics. He was heading aerodynamics division in BSSC. So he took my biodata. That was in '89. When he said, "No problem, I can take you inside straight." Because ISRO generally, the interview board is constituted by such people, and he knows if you apply, you'll get it. But by the time he reached back, I think the last date was over. He could not push me inside. So I was watching for the ISRO advertisements. In the next advertisement, I applied. And I happened to be in a small center, which is the first employee me. And then no fluid mechanics. It happens to be image processing, computer science. So mostly in computer vision. So I lost my fluid mechanics, no mathematics, image processing, civil engineering. I started reading geography books. So I'm a good geographer than a mathematician. So it was just by accident. But yes, after joining, I found ISRO is one of the best places. But in 6 months, I put my resignation down because I got a job in NIT Suratkar, where your director is from Suratkar, right? I got mathematics professor, assistant professor post that time. So I want to become teacher. So he gave my resignation, said I am going to my director. So my director happens to be from BITS Pilani, an ex-professor who became scientist. So a scientist is going to become a professor. So he gave me a lecture for 20 minutes, asking me not to resign. Then I said, write in that application form itself that you discussed with me and then convinced me not to resign. But then I asked him one option. As long as you are director, if I want to go for lectures, you must allow me to go. Because I love teaching. He said, free. Wherever you want, you can go for lectures. I will not ask you where are you going. And in Department of Space, we don't have register book. Attendance register is not there. So you don't have to sign. I never signed in 20 years. No attendance register for us. Because we trust people saying that you are working in office and you will work. Right? There were days when same, that time director was ex-ISRO director became our director. There were days 2 o'clock we go to office, morning 2 o'clock we reach back home. 12 hours late night. Because satellite data will come at 11 o'clock. Morning 9:30 the satellite will take picture, gets downloaded in Shad Nagar. By truck it has to come to office, NRSA. From there they have to give us the data. So we have to go and pick it up another 1 hour. So it comes to my office at 2 o'clock. So until the data comes, I have nothing to do. My job was data processing. So 2 o'clock the data will come. And I have to process it, make the product, and show. That time Sharad Pawar was the defense minister. Show him tomorrow morning at Delhi. Right? So I have to work whole night, make the product in print form, and then deliver it. Morning flight, 5:30 flight. Somebody will pick it up and then go to Delhi and submit it to Sharad Pawar. So I worked 1 month like that. So we have a lot of flexibility. One advantage. And you are my subordinate. I will supervise you every day. If you don't do, I will not give you work. That is the only punishment ISRO can give. You are paid well. you can come to office, but no work. If you work, you will get more work. And if you get more work, you get promotions faster. Because we have flexible complementary system. If you are too good, 3 years, 4 years. If you are bad, 8 years, 9 years. You will not get promotions. So you can supersede many people. And if you don't work, your colleague will become your director. And you will have to report to him. That happens. So ISRO is good. That way it is good. Any more questions? ISRO is a different structure. It works in project mode. I don't know whether you know this. There are different centers. Like we have VSSC, SAC, ISAC, and all that. Suppose there is a launch program or a satellite program in which you are the project director. You are given free chance to select whomever you want from different centers. So she may be in one center reporting to some director, but if the project director says I want her under me, that time onwards you will report to her. Director becomes only an administrative control. All the work will be assigned by this person. Got it? So in ISRO you will see so many people, and same person, maybe some other project comes, he also takes her. You will report to 2 people, administrative to director. So a person is active reporting to many people sometime. And so many such projects. Why somebody selects X, Y individual? Because they are active. They are good. So if you are good, you will get a lot of work. And therefore you will get a lot of exposure. Exposure in the sense not outside, inside ISRO. And therefore you will have to go. Today travel is less because you have got video conferencing meetings and all that. Otherwise people will travel one day in Ahmedabad for one project. Next day you will have to travel in Bangalore for another project. It's after 10 years, 15 years this keeps happening. So most of the people in ISRO, you will see you traveling most of the time. We have a guest house in Mumbai. No office in Mumbai. That's because most of the flights hope set. They have to go there, have breakfast, take the next flight and then go to Bangalore. Right? So that's it. So you have a lot of flexibility. It works in a different style. We don't stand up when the director comes. We can call him by name. We don't call sir. Radhakrishnan is called Radhakrishnan. Though he is chairman, I will call him Radhakrishnan. Right?
So interestingly, you can ask them what is the...
So we have the same flexibility
how we
now.
address each other. So in our context,
And we can object. You may be my boss, I will tell you, you are totally wrong. You can tell him that you are wrong. It doesn't work. Then he tell you, fine, no problem. It doesn't work. He will listen to you coolly and explain you everything. And then when he decides that this is what we are going to do as a team. Maybe you are right, I may be wrong. But this is how you are going to work because I am the leader. Right? Then onwards you should not disagree. You have to work. You can prove that it is wrong after few years, no problem. That doesn't matter.
So that will cost harm to the project now.
See, nothing is lost. That's why it says, who said that? 10,000 times. Yeah. So each failure, that's why when the satellite fails also, they'll say, it is not failed.
On the way to on the way to catch.
Yeah, it's another way to catch. And we are lucky, we didn't have much of failures. Thanks to Tirupati. Our chairman goes to Tirupati for
launch.
We have PSLV very tested. We have a strong team. So, not much of a problem. Any questions?
so how do you think, like, how should we, with our academics, with all these parameters that have come outside, govern a project like this? How do you think we should go about in our strategy? We'll discuss this more tomorrow.
I was with the project management and program planning division of ISRO headquarters for some time. That was part of my MBA project. I was doing my MBA and I wanted to do a project and I did it in ISRO headquarters. My project was knowledge management. And I found that what is essentially lacking in Indian, most of the scientific, including all of you now, you're all sitting here to listening to somebody. You don't have a pen and paper with you. But I always have a paper, lot of papers with me, loose sheets, and a pen and pencil. And I have a recorder. And I was recording the whole talk what he was giving. Right? First important part which all of you should have is take notes and make notes. That's the job of a student. Otherwise you should have recorded. No? You can record it and then listen to it. Nothing wrong in it. Whatever, if it is useless, you just delete it because nothing is lost. Correct? When he was telling, I was putting camera, but I was also writing down few quotes. That's one of the quote I used, right? No one can do everything, but
everyone can do something.
I'm just wanted to listen from you. You don't know, right? Have you heard that earlier?
No, sir.
Did you by heart it? So you missed the chance. If I would have been one among you, I will just write it down. Because it's a quote which can be used in many places, right?
Yes, sir.
So you missed it because you didn't write it down. Though while hearing, you will know that, oh, I know this. But if you want to reproduce it, you will miss the chance.
No one can do everything.
But
Everyone can do something.
yeah. But what I'm saying, unless you write it down, unless you repeat it once, you will not get. When you really require, you will not be able to use it, right? So you can see a small notebook which I carry all the time. It's a small piece of waste paper pinned together, right? It will be there in my pocket. Which is collection of lot of quotes which can be used, which are heard somewhere. Sometime when I get idea, I start writing. So do this. Make your own notebook, write down. Because we lack in documentation. We think that we know and we discuss the same thing 10 times and waste time. Never do that. Even in your learning. All holidays. Today is a holiday, Saturday, right? If you are not there, if I am not in Bhopal, in my house, I have students like you, nearly 30 of them, who come and spend time with me every holiday. For last 1.5 years, I am in Hyderabad. Otherwise, I keep roaming after my retirement from ISRO. I am not in ISRO now. I took retirement. So every day, students will come beside me and sit. Whatever I say, they will write down. Somebody will record. And whatever happens, by next moment they reach back on a computer, they must put it onto Facebook.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Just few minutes.
I told him at 4 o'clock.
Just few minutes.
Right, sir.
It is not over.
Right,
You can sit here.
and just before that, come and tap me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Just after this, he can.
so what I do is every student is supposed to, you will see the smartest student will put the first information. So they have to read that and then put the next point. So you will see sometime after the class 138 subjects which I discuss in one day. In one day session from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, how many subjects? You will see sometime 138 subjects. And each one of them, they will also look at which is the Wikipedia which available or some information that link also they will put there. So a student who missed the class can go there and then look at it. And I don't have faith on Facebook. Facebook can die any day. Therefore, you know what do I do? The same day night I will copy everything and I have 61 blogs. And I will put that in blog. And once in 3 months I will print all that and then make a document and keep in my house. So you know how systematic in documentation I am. You can look at my laptop. And a day I am somewhere, that will be recorded. What is discussed there will be recorded. And I have 3 months calendar with me. which generally I used to print myself, but this year somebody has given me a gift. Otherwise I print, make my own. This is 3 months. Such 3 months calendars for last 10 years will be in my cabinet. So we lack documentation. That's what I saw that you are sitting without paper. Make documentation perfect. Whatever I learned in ISRO in 10 years, if I want to pick it up, I can just telephone to my son at home and say that in this rack, this place it will be there, you pick it up. The document will be there. I know where it is kept. So be good in documentation. Otherwise we spend a lot of time. ISRO believes in documentation. We do a lot of documentation. I have nearly 180 technical documents prepared. What I do I am working in a small college now. Every day what I do will have some pictures. If I had discussion, the next opportunity which I get, so I always carry not one camera, another camera is also. 2 thick cameras, I will take your picture, this also will be uploaded. So that I remember that okay, I spoke to you. And this picture along with this audio will be put into YouTube, I will post in YouTube. So you can see more than 600 YouTube lectures of mine. You know, what I am saying is, whatever we speak, document it. Take note, make note. Correct? So that the knowledge will be with you and you can refer it any point of time. Any more questions?
One last question. The agenda of this meeting was to discuss what are the right questions, how to ask them. So just can you address them so that they come prepared tomorrow?
That is why just now Murali sir was giving a questionnaire for preparing. I think watch manufacturing parameters. What is a good watch? It's part of manufacturing principles. Assume you want to manufacture a washing machine. What are the qualities required for washing machine? You put all the parameters. Less consumption of electricity, less water, clothes should not get spoiled. So many things you can have, right? How many parameters you should have? Put all the possible ones and ask question. How much weightage you have to give to make the best one? So the discussion was happening, I was just going to pick up the bag. So he said, this is what I am doing. We are doing it for watch. Then I asked him one question. Why watch got the name watch? You understood? Why? Watch got the name watch. Morning I was sitting in the lecture, intellectual property right. While sitting I know, we have discussed sometime, are you my property? Are you my property? No. Don't change this now, right? Which is this institute?
Azad National Institute.
Is it your institute?
Yes. Yes.
Do you own it?
No, sir.
No.
I'm a part of it.
You are part of it, right? Are you my student?
Yes, at this time I am your student.
So, are you my property? Do I own you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I own you as a student, right? Correct? You understood how do you ask questions?
Yes, sir.
So learn to learn. That's my general talk. Learn to learn. I had the largest engineering college students in one single session in Hyderabad. 1,200 engineering college students for a half-day program. Each student paying 100 rupees for half-day program. So how much is my money collected in half-day lecture? 1,20,000 rupees. 20,000 rupees for the hall. Half-day lecture was 1 lakh rupees. Want to know what the title of the program? Creativity to the power of infinity. Okay, so only what I taught was how to ask questions. You ask questions. Why, where, when, how, why not? Keep on asking questions that will give you answers. You should have 100 questions with you. If you don't have questions, you are not a student, you are not a research scholar. So the creativity is not finding solutions. creativity is
Asking questions.
you all have learned gravity, basic physics, right? I'll take one example from physics, one from chemistry. Maths I am not taking because maths is only a tool. That's my subject. One chemistry and one physics. That will ask you or give you an example. How do you look at a subject? What is gravity? Basic. What is gravity?
It's a force.
It's a force. All of you agree or you should not agree? That's the first thing what we do.
Not agree.
Don't agree. Okay, then what is it? Asking.
The
Yes?
Earth's gravitational force.
So he added earth. I did not say earth. I just asked what is gravity. But then you added earth to that. So that it explains you slightly more, right? So let us go to earth's gravity. Now I changed my question. I am not asking gravity. I am asking. Otherwise gravity can be something else. What is that?
Anything which has mass will have.
Only mass? Without mass no gravity?
Force of attraction will take advantage.
So do I attract you? No. You understood, no? That's why I want to change not to me, earth gravity. I changed it. Otherwise people also can attract, right? So he says the force of attraction is gravity. So if I attract a lot of people, I have a lot of gravity. Yes, that is the meaning. But then is gravity force of attraction or you learn in physics cause and effect, right?
It's the cause. It's not the force, it's the cause.
It is the cause. So what is the effect?
Effect is
Attraction.
Acceleration. So what is gravity?
It's acceleration.
Acceleration.
So if I ask you gravity G, you will write meter per second square, and that is not the force dimension, it is the acceleration dimension. Therefore you all lost. You understood how do you think different. He asked me a question, why did I resign from Department of Space? Because we don't think like this in Department of Space. As a teacher I can think like this and I can make people to think. I inspire a lot of people. Thinking like this is what is required. So you get a lot of questions. You understood? From basics you start asking questions like this and your basic will become very strong. If you are not strong in basics, you will collapse after some time. You understood now? And now I will ask you, why is it 9.8 meter per second per second? I will not call it as meter per second square. Meter per second per second. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Velocity changes.
9.9.
Now I will ask you, why is it 9.8 meter per second per second? Why not 9.9? In Bhopal, 9.8 only, right?
Yeah, it's 9.8.
Why? Do you know really it is 9.8?
No. You cannot be sure.
Why you cannot be sure?
Because it varies with the altitude. With the altitude.
That's why I asked you, is it in Bhopal?
Yes, that's
Now,
what I said.
can you prove it today? Now, in Bhopal, how much is it?
Yes, sir.
How?
One is using a simple pendulum, the other is dropping a ball.
Go there, 9.8 meter,
High.
drop this girl down.
It's her birthday today, so I don't know.
So see how much time she takes to come onto the earth. 1 second? Yes.
So now, let's go.
You understood now what I am saying? We have simple thing which we can experiment, but we never experiment. Got it?
So I have a question to that point. You said that we have simple things to experiment, but we usually don't. Do actually we have time experimenting on those things? Because we have our academic.
Are you as busy as Manmohan Singh?
No, I don't say we are as busy.
See, the biggest problem with the people, they say that I am very busy doing nothing.
How to cope with that? Can we do that?
Don't manage your time. Just say I am free. And you are free. How many hours you sleep?
5.
Huh?
5.
Do you really sleep? And as soon as you wake up, do you get up? No. For last 20 years, I sleep only 3 hours, 2 hours, and I am perfectly all right. Average. I don't say yesterday I slept little more because I have nothing else to do. As I reached, it was 11:30 or so, I went to bed, but 5 o'clock I was up. 6 hours I slept. Normally it is 2-3 hours. That's enough. When sleep, deep sleep. When you work, deep work. I think we have sufficient time. We keep saying that we are busy, we have no time. Whole BTech syllabus is only how many days? To score 90% mark, all the BTech subjects, it doesn't take more time. Mark getting is not very, very difficult, right? Last 5 years question paper, you just by heart. The answers you can get 95%. If you know how to write exam paper, very simple. So it is not that we don't have time. We don't have time on what we wanted to do. To make this into national highway, state highway, how much time you take? National highway, state highway and all that. Careful carelessness. You spend a lot of time on standing in front of the mirror to show that I am not combing my hair.
I don't need to.
Many people spend.
Like wake up and done. I'm done.
We have sufficient time. Don't say we don't have time. We don't manage our activities. We spend a lot of time searching things, finding where what. Take one example of chemistry. What is the size of an atom?
Few nanometers. It's not a nucleus atom, right? It's around the scale of a nanometer to.
Nano is 10 power minus 9. Have you ever visualized an atom? This girl is today luckiest because her birthday. This hair. How many atoms I have to keep it to get the thickness of the hair? If you can visualize it, you have visualized an atom size. You understood? I want to know the thickness of this paper. If somebody says few microns and all, you cannot measure it, right? How do you measure? You put 100 papers, divide by 100. Similarly, the atom, you know who gave the size of an atom? Atom in Sanskrit is called the Anu. Why the name Anu came? Kanam. Kanada. Jalandhara gade bhanu yat sushnam drishyate rajaha tasya trimshattamo bhagaha paramanu iti spradaha. What is an atom is defined like this. Jalandhara gade bhanu. Take a bucket of water, put torchlight inside that. You will see small particles moving. In a dark room, slit of light will give you particles, right? Jalandhara gade bhanu yat sushmam drishyate rajaha. What you see is called rajaha. Tasya trimshattamo bhagaha. Divide that into 30 pieces. You will get size of an atom. Can you imagine now? If anyone here who won't imagine, if I chant the next sloka, you will say, oh, yes, you can imagine. You know what the poet says? Nani nam drishti godaraha. If you have buddhi, then only you can imagine. See how nicely it is explained, right? You understood? So what a scientist requires is imagination. I went to Austria to select a scanner for defense. 4 micrometer scanner. Scanner is a one linear array, right? CCD element. CCD element. It will be 30 times your hair size. Will you be able to see that? The cobweb, if you take one, you will be able to see this. No. You imagine that is 10 such pieces of that. That is one scanner. And when the managing director said, this is the scanner. Is there? Is it there? Even with the electron microscope, you will not see them. Right? He said, yes, I am seeing. Why? You put it there in the scanner, you get the effect. You can scan it and then measure it, right? When I chanted this sloka, Naninam DrTPS. If you have buddhi, you will be able to visualize it. Right? It is not what you see. The cause is not what you want. How does it affect? You understood? So ask questions like this from the basics. I am sure you will enjoy that. You should ask why. Why this? Why you have to do this? Why you have to be part of this? I am sure those questions must have asked, right? Did you ask this? Why?
I haven't come up with
Is it only this is inspiring? There is nothing else which inspires you? You can have many things, right?
Yes.
Why only this? You can have in some other project.
So this is what makes me happy when I work on it.
That is because something else is not seen.
It's not always.
Do you
always
like
have opportunities.
jamun, kala jamun? Do you like laddu,
Yes.
jalebi, paratha, kisapus? You don't know what is it, right? Therefore, you don't know what is the taste of it. So if I make it now, it's almost like South Indian dosha, on which you have got the pizza items put. Are you manufacturing it now inside your mind? There is nothing called kisapus. I just said some word. Now, don't you feel it is much more interesting than what you have already seen? Because you started manufacturing, right? You understood how creativity makes you thrill. When you work on that, that becomes interesting to you. Anything. It's not that this is there, therefore it is interesting. In space department, every day I enjoyed. When I was a BSc student, I enjoyed. Today I am enjoying. Yesterday also I enjoyed. Yesterday in Indore, our flight was delayed 1 hour. I really enjoyed. Because otherwise, as soon as the flight stops, he will ask you to get down. You can't sit there, right? No, he cannot ask you to get down because it's delayed. It's just waiting there. So we had sufficient time with the pilot. We had sufficient time with the air hostess. Not girl, it was a boy. So we a lot of discussions. You understood? So we always think that anything which you do can be made interesting if you do it with the passion. And if you have passion, you have passion for everything. And if you don't have passion, you have no passion for anything. You understood? So don't say this is interesting because if this doesn't work, you will commit suicide. You know, Department of Space, Kalam worked for 18 years. He left that. And he went to DRDO. He did wonderful jobs there. Yes, when he walks around in Rashtrapati Bhavan, he enjoys rose flowers. He was in DRDO, Hyderabad, as a head, and he gave a contract to one of the gardeners. He said, you have to plant coconut trees both sides, where I am going for morning walk. So this man said, okay, fine, no problem. Morning walking, your way, we know, right? So the contract was orally. You just plant where I am going for morning walking. So one day he will go here, another day he goes somewhere, another day somewhere. You can imagine how creative is he. You understood? See, you are creative in one, you can be creative in every aspect. You will never become creative in one. I am very creative. At home while cooking, I cook something. My wife asks me, what are you cooking? I'll tell you, after cooking I'll tell you. Because, you understood? The other day we made a nice tiffin in the evening, which I don't know what is to be named. We have to name it later. It's creative. No? You have to be creative, everyone. Don't think that you are creative and this is passioning and another one is not. No, everything is passioning for you.